Happy Tuesday and welcome to Money and Mindset. I'm Dr. Stephanie Ardrey, known as Dr. Money.
And I'm Dr. Thyonne, known as your story genius. Good morning or good afternoon, Stephanie. How are you, Dr. Money? How are you
I-
doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
Well, besides our challenges with getting on here, I'm doing pretty good.
It's me always trying to get to another beach. I'm coming to you from Long Bay Beach in Port Antonio, Jamaica, and I'm right on the ocean. So, that was just the boldest place to be trying to broadcast a show.
Yes. Yeah. It was beautiful. I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to let us see it. And I am coming to you today from Fredericksburg, Virginia, where it's beautiful weather. Yeah. And I was out on the patio too, and my computer was like, it's too hot out here. Why are you trying to bring me out here to get all heated up? And so, yeah, that's the challenge is getting on today, but we're here.
We are here and we're going to have a fabulous show. I was thinking back as we were talking a couple weeks ago about how we've been able to feature some entrepreneurs, and I'm still buzzing over that interview that we did with Love. I mean, that one has just left such a warm, fuzzy feeling over me.
Yes, because Love just had this beautiful energy about her, first of all, and that she was so young and doing something positive in the face of a pandemic. It was it was really inspiring. Makes you want to hear more stories like that, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I think I'm equally excited today, because we're going to get an opportunity to hear from another young woman who's an entrepreneur. But before we go into that, I want to ask you a quick question. You were hosting an event with your family, and there were going to be a number of speakers. Did you guys have the event?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I'm so glad you asked me about that. We had our event. It was called Liberated question mark things that or information Black families should know about freedom. And it was just phenomenal. We had three speakers come on. Quentin, and I don't remember his last name, Melanie Perry, who's been on our show before, and Goldleen, and I don't remember her last name either, but I'll have to look them up before we stop so I can tell you their last names and what they do. They talked around, Quentin spoke around critical race theory. Melanie spoke around finances and the financial outlook for Black people in particular in terms of legacy and wealth building. And Glodine spoke on the otherness of Black people. And she's written a book of a young person growing up in Watts during the 60s who was gay. And so being able to bring have this intersection of mindsets coming together to discuss what does it mean to be liberated in light of this idea of the holiday of Juneteenth, in light of the verdict of George Floyd, or of the person who killed George Floyd. And in light of everything that's gone on over the past 400 years and where we are and who we are, and saying that we're liberated, are we really liberated? And the discussion got lively and it was fun and free spirited. And I'm very, very proud of this next generation, which was my nieces, my nephews, my great nieces and nephews who produced that show and put it on and found the guest and did the moderation and everything. So I kicked my feet up. I got some popcorn even. I was like, I finally get to just watch and participate on the sidelines. I am so excited. And so that's what I did. I watched them host and moderate this amazing event. It is still on YouTube. It'll be up on our Family Foundation page, Willie and Elizabeth Gordon Family Foundation. But we'll make sure to get it in the chat. I'll give it to you so you can get it into the chat or get it up on some of our pages. But definitely something you want to go back and revisit.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy. I'm going to definitely check it out myself. And we were in residency all weekend. But the exciting thing that I was able to do was I went to Treasure Beach, which is one of the beaches I've wanted to visit and I hadn't made it to. And we were staying at this magnificent place. up on the hill. I mean, no wall, a complete open space, the wind coming into the kitchen. I mean, it was like the most fabulous experience. So I loved it. And it made that 8 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday a little bit more bearable.
That would have made it a lot more bearable. I love the houses without the walls. In Bali, most of the houses have just 2 or 3 walls up, and it's an open space. And a lot of people can't deal with that because you still are going to have the salamanders are going to be crawling on your walls. They look like decorations. I remember the first time I saw the lizards and salamanders up on the walls, and I was like, oh, that's interesting artwork. And then they moved, and I was like, oh, it's living. That's living, livable art. Okay. But they're eating the insects and things like that. So they're keeping you safe, which is great. But I love the open floor plans. Those are just so beautiful. And it tells you something about the space that you're in terms of talk about being liberated and being free to roam and do and leave your doors open. Come on.
Yeah. Right. Doors are open.
Like there's no need for locks because you only have 3 walls. People can walk in anyway.
Exactly.
So the space where you are truly liberated and free. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm glad you got to experience that.
Well, I was speaking to Anna after we had the opportunity to interview Love, and she introduced me to a good friend of hers, Miss Sharon Jackson. And she said, oh, I would like for you guys to be introduced to Brooklyn. And I said, okay, well, tell me about Brooklyn. And she said, oh, you know, she's another young entrepreneur handling her business and doing really well. And I said, of course, please connect us with Brooklyn so that we have an opportunity to interview her. So we're going to interview Brooklyn Jackson today. And she's going to talk to her about her business, Kobe Collections. So why don't I go ahead and bring Brooklyn into the conversation?
Lovely young lady. I'm so happy to have met her already.
Brooklyn Jackson. Well, welcome to Money and Mindset with Dr. Money and Dr. Story Genius. We're so happy to have you.
Good to be here. I'm trying to make sure the camera is straight.
There you go. Perfect. We see you right there.
Okay, perfect.
God, Brooklyn, I had a chance to speak with you just briefly when we were going through our tech difficulties. And I would love for you to just tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you're doing right now.
Okay, perfect. So like they've said, my name is Brooklyn Jackson. I'm 19 years old. I attend Wayne State University. I'm now in my sophomore year of college. Well, I'm going into my sophomore year of college. I have 2 businesses. One is named Kobe Collections, and that's a hair extension line with hair products and things in that nature. And then I have an activewear line, which is like a clothing brand, and I sell like lifestyle wear, like things you can work out and go to the gym in, things you can chill in the house with. It's more so like comfy wear, like everyday wear. And so I just started that business during the pandemic. So it's doing very well. And I started Kobe Collections when I was in my 10th grade year of high school, maybe 2016, if I'm not mistaken, or 2017 summer. And both are just doing very well right now.
Exciting.
Oh my goodness. And where are you located, Brooklyn? Are you in Michigan as well?
Yes, I'm located in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, fabulous. My goodness. So you're in high school.
Yes.
And you're participating in everything that high schoolers participate in. But
Correct.
you decided to start a business. Tell us about that. What was the thought that hit your mind that said, you know, I could start a business right now?
Most definitely my mom and dad had a lot of part in why I did want to start a business. They've owned a business for 30 years. So that was most definitely just ingrained in my childhood to eventually start my own business. And it also just went hand in hand with what my mother does, which is own a hair salon, and she does hair. So that's just something that made sense. And also, too, I'm a very girly girl. So when I first started off, Kobe Collections didn't start as hair extensions. It started off as a cosmetics line, a lip gloss line. But then as I gradually went into it, that's just not something I had wanted to do. I wanted to branch off. So then hair extensions came into play, and that's where it worked very well within my mom's salon and things in that nature. Just getting the name out there, it was easy because it was already there.
So when you talk about Kobe collections, where'd the name come from? And I love that you tell us how you transitioned or pivoted from one thing to another, but where'd you get the name?
Kobe collections, my middle name is Kobe, so Brooklyn Kobe Jackson. And collections is just something that just came on because eventually I would like to own my own beauty supply. So Kobe collection was just something that fit everything in it. So collection could be hair, it could be it could be makeup, it could be anything that you want it to be. You can make it clothes. So eventually at my end goal, that's what it will end up being, is like a one-stop shop as far like a beauty supply. And so collections just fit that, and I wanted to add something different. So I added the Z on the end for collections, and then that's what happened.
I mean, just listening to you now in high school again, how many of your other friends had businesses?
Well, I graduated from Cass Tech alumni, so we were most definitely an entrepreneur school. So just being there made you want to do something. Like everybody at school did something. Like we used to host really big pop-up shops and things like that, and half the building would be Cass Tech. Like that's just how our school was. Even if people were selling chips in school or making desserts in school, like we've always had an entrepreneur's hustle at that school. So therefore that's another reason that made you want to be one of those young entrepreneurs, because it was all around you everywhere you walked within school.
I love that Brooklyn, because it speaks to, you may have heard your mom say this, or you hear elders say, birds of a feather flock together, or
Yes.
are the sum of the people you hang around with.
Yes.
So when you hear that and what you're speaking of in terms of you're around entrepreneurship, your parents, your peers, you're
Yes.
around productivity, which makes you productive. Speak to that a little bit. When you are in your peer group, a lot of people will say, oh, this generation is lazy, or this generation doesn't want to do anything. Speak to the whole idea of how to fit in or find that type of population.
So I would say like okay, that was kind of delayed. I would say people with the narrative of my generation is lazy and things in that nature just haven't seen what my generation has to offer, because people think of it as lazy, but nowadays it's easier to make money, way easier, because it's at the palm of your fingers and in your phone, like just things like that. We don't have to go too far to make our money. Making your money can be sitting on your phone, and that's what my money does for me. I could sit in bed and make money, and that's what this generation does, because there's so many things and resources out here to have everything set for you. Like social media is a very great platform for exposing your business to those great things like marketing and just having it be seen. So people think it's lazy and we take the long route, but in reality, it's not, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's fast. It's the logical route for now in the population. Even you see young kids on TikTok now that start at the age of 8. Like this is where your money is at, on your phone. So once again, like having a good peer group is very essential, but it won't come as soon as you start a business or just period within life. Like earlier on in life, I realized the thing about hanging around certain people that have the same mindset as you, or not hanging around the certain people with different mindsets as you, and how you have to be able to split those two groups apart and maybe be with some people from a distance and also hug more people with warm arms, So it's different and you're not going to get it soon as you become an entrepreneur, or because I'm still young, and anybody in my generation right now is nowhere near done growing. So I would just say continue to test out the waters and don't be afraid to take risks when it comes to bringing new people in your circle and knowing when it's time to let them go.
That's so powerful. And I love this school. It's interesting. I was reading the newspaper, and I'm sure you heard this, Thyonne. They were saying Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine are looking to open up an entrepreneurial school in Los Angeles. Yes. So that they can train more entrepreneurs. And so I think the idea in terms of the curriculum, for example, when you took your regular English or math, were those classes framed from a context of running a business, or were they, you say, just your kind of traditional, or then how did they weave in kind of the entrepreneurial elements into your core curriculum?
Okay, so one thing about schools are that, of course, also, with me being at Cass Tech, it also gave me an entrepreneurial spirit because we had curriculums there. We had things like, it seems like I haven't been to school in so long. I took, to be an entrepreneur as well, and that helped form these relationships with different people. And it also helped me be able to expand my horizon to meet different people and take speech classes and debate classes. Debate classes are essential for when you have to stand up for yourself in business, when maybe somebody's not doing the right thing with your money, or how do you debate properly, and how do you communicate with these people in these higher places properly without, maybe stumbling on your words or anything in that nature. Just that school, my school, Cass Tech, did a lot of, soul searching. That's what I'll call it. They had curriculums for each thing that you wanted to do. They had music, they had dance, and not a lot of high schools do that, and maybe not any at all. They don't have curriculums to let you actually see what path you want to be in. And also you could switch it if you would like to. So it was just like almost like a mini college where you actually were to be able to take the classes that were essential to you in the future. Now, I would say that the regular classes, they were able to keep those regular classes, writing and reading and math and things like that. They were able to keep those as the basic classes because they offered so many outside resources to us. So yeah, that was a big part of, like, helping you go into the real world with giving you those classes that match your career.
This is so amazing. And I just love hearing a couple things, not only the foundation that you experienced from having your parents be entrepreneurs, but then getting to go to a high school where you had all of this exposure to consider other ideas, which that helps you in business. You talked about already starting your business focused on lip gloss and then pivoting into hair. That's something that you gleaned, whether you were aware of it or not, just in the school experience, that I can start in this idea and I can change to another idea, and I can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I can mix it up together and make it my own. And so I just think that that's so powerful, added with the fact that you said, listen, we're all still young. So think of how much more we have to learn. And so when you have an attitude of I'm open to see what I can learn, I mean, you've got the winning formula. I'm so happy to know that you guys are going to be in charge of our future. When I'm out hanging out with my homies at 110, 115, I'll be like, Brooklyn, they got it covered. We good. The ball is in capable hands.
You're doing, and also, I think I love how you've also phrased it. It's amazing, but it's also quite ordinary for your generation. smarter instead of harder. You're still
Yes.
working. You have to work. You have to figure out, and I'm going to ask you about this. This is my next question to you. You have to figure out about your supply chain and different things like that, but you're doing it in a different way. You're not having to, and not that you wouldn't, but you're not having to go overseas to see everything. You're actually able to do things online. So tell us a little bit about how you're doing the sourcing of your products. How do you come up with what hair do you want to get and what clothing? How are you designing the clothing? How does that work in terms of your supply chain?
Hair or you one thing about social media again is you're able to keep up with trends, and trends are a big thing. Like say so that's the stuff that you want to stay on top of within business is you look and you study your inventory, and that's how.
Brooklyn is Stephanie, Dr. Money, are you breaking up a bit, or did you see Brooklyn freeze?
Yeah, she did. I was trying to make sure that there was nothing else open, drawing any energy from the computer. So I was just closing any slides that were open.
It might be Brooklyn's time. So Brooklyn, you said that trends are important. So
Yes.
a little bit more about that in terms of your sourcing and how you do that.
So yeah, like I said, trends are very important to when having a business, because if you study your culture and you study, who your audience is, that helps a lot with knowing what to get and when you'll be or things in that nature. Like that's just something you have questions and build a relationship with my customers. So therefore, when there is something that I'm thinking about doing, they know that, so that they're able to look forward to something. And that's one thing that I do like to do often. Statements and how they like to do things. So what I like to do is I like to ask questions and do polls, and that's another good thing about social media. It lets you track performance and track opinions and ideas and things in that nature. So those are another more good tools that I like to use.
That's excellent. That all comes in handy. And in building the social media, that's how long or how did you go about building out your audience of followers? And where do you say most of your followers come from? Are they in the US or are they all over the world?
Well, so I've been on social media for a long time, since I was a kid. So I have already, I already kind of built up this audience that has followed me since I've been a teenager. Well, I'm still a teenager, but since I've been getting older as a teenager, I've had this audience that has known me for years back. And that's another thing about our generation. It's like social media is almost like a family. Like, when people get to watch you and you get to build this brand under your name, you're able to. So that's another thing within my social media. Like these people have watched me for years. So when it is time for me to do a business or release something, those people are the ones helping me push it, because they are seeing the success or they're seeing this growth that I've used. And and you're showing these people, and people. It's so easy for it to sell out because people are already bought into their lifestyle.
That's so powerful, and it's so amazing that your generation, you guys grow up, in technology and, if you will, building your personal brand so early on. You know about that almost innately as young people, and so it just sort of happens organically from the beginning. And you're right.
Yes.
I think when you have that community, it's that community that decides that they want to support you. They want to be a part of
Yes.
what it is that you're up to every step of the way. Well, we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties. We've been trying our best to push through it. We're on the wind down. I would like you to share, if you could, if you wanted to give, some tips to some young people who may be watching and not in Michigan, somewhere else in the world, and they're trying to think about what they should do with themselves. So many people were disrupted with college because of the pandemic and all of that stuff. What advice would you give some other young people about what they could do at this stage of their lives?
I just got the other day.
Seems like we're a little stuck again. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
Bad advice. So Brooklyn, it seems as though it may be your internet this time. I think we all have had a chance with the technical difficulties, as Dr. Money shared. So Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, it
okay.
was hers. She dropped off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out what she said. She may pop back in with us.
Exactly. Let's give her a second.
This is our
What an impressive young woman.
Yes, very impressive, and got her business going, which just says to every single person, you all can do this.
Yes.
You all can do it. Within the show that we had on Saturday with the Willie and Elizabeth Gordon Family Foundation, where you can find us is We Gordon FDN or Foundation, WeGordonFDN.org. So WeGordonFDN.org. You can find us there. And the links for the pages should be there where you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. You also will see it on my Beyond Story page and different pages all over the Facebook world. But what she said in terms of the people surrounding her and what we talked about and what happened on that panel discussion was entrepreneurship is in our DNA. It's a part of who we are. And we got Brooklyn back. Brooklyn, yes, you're back. Would you give us those final comments for whomever may be out there who might be considering entrepreneurship or not?
Okay, like I said before we got disconnected, this is some advice that I just got. Don't be afraid to take risks and go out there and find what you would like to do. Nobody can tell you your dreams or what path you're going to take. You have to be the one to decide what you're going to do and what you like to do. And another thing I would say is what separates bosses from workers are the consistency and just constantly pushing and pushing yourself until you're all the way up there, because without consistency, where can you go? If you keep stopping every month, where can you go? Nowhere. So please just continue to follow your dreams, continue to take risks and step out of your comfort zone, because that's going to be the thing that makes you successful in the end. And that's it.
Woo-hoo!
Well, those are definitely wonderful words of wisdom, for young and old alike. Well, Brooklyn, I'm going to be following you. I'm part of your fan club, and I look forward to continuing to see you journey along as an entrepreneur. I hope you don't mind that you've gained at least another new fan. I think you've gained a couple new fans. And absolutely. It's just been a delight, having this opportunity, and we definitely will invite you back as we continue to have episodes and talk more about money and mindset.
Thank you so much.
Dr. TG?
Yes, thank you, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
Want to close it out, Dr. Money?
Sure. Well, what I was going to say is, Let me see. So everyone, we are going on a month-long hiatus. Today is the last day of June. So Dr. TG and I decided that we wanted to take a little time off so that we could reboot, line up, and be prepared for the next season of Money and Mindset. So we're going to take the month of July off, and we'll be back the first Tuesday in August. So TJ, what are you going to do while you're off the air?
Oh my gosh, I have so much to catch up on. First, I want to just enjoy where I am. I'm at my brother's house in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and he's got this lovely yard where I'm going to walk out right now and just show you a little bit, just to be out here in nature. You can hear the birds already, and you see different, let's see if I can let you guys see. This is his yard. It's just so beautiful out here.
Wow, look at that. It's gorgeous. Nice green yard. Shoots, they could run plays. That's a soccer field. Definitely you could throw some balls.
I told him that he should be growing corn and all kinds of things because we grew
his private garden, huh?
Right. So
I'm
that's what I'm going
to see if I can step outside.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy family and friends, and I still have to work. I'm doing a luggage giveaway in Arlington, Virginia on tomorrow for the She Ready Foundation. So this is our last one outside of the state of California. I say last one, but then of course, whenever there's a need, somebody reaches out and says, please, please, please. And that's what we do. And so I'm here doing a luggage giveaway to some young people who will be going off to college, and we want them to be well prepared. Woo!
Wow. So I'm sneaking out for a second because we know how iffy it was earlier. So I didn't get a chance to show my oceanfront background. Yeah. So I'm going to take myself right on back in. But I just had to share.
Is that what you're doing all summer?
I'll be here for a month. I will be here for a month.
Haven't you already been there for a month?
Well, I'll be at this particular location for a month.
Okay. Clarify.
Just yes. So that other month that I'm staying.
Yeah. Well, it has been wonderful hosting the show for, oh my gosh, it's a year. It's been a year. Just about a year.
Almost. We're getting close to it. Yeah. Yeah. We started last October?
In August, I think. And then we started when we were heading back. So our adventure together has been a year. We've talked to each other every week for a year.
Yes.
So we've known each other. And it has really been such a pleasure bringing the Money and Mindset team together. We thank all of you for sharing and for listening and for watching and keeping us alert on our own money and mindset. So we want to thank you for that. And I don't know if I'm putting Dr. Money on the spot and myself on the spot. I don't know the number in my account right now.
Oh my goodness, I forgot to do the update. I'm so sorry, but when we come back, I will have the update on where you should be with your deposits.
And I did my deposits. We're talking about putting the money in the jar and doubling it up each week. And I did my deposits as just a straight deposit. I couldn't double it up every week. I couldn't get all that together. So I go and check and see what I have just from moving money into an account every week.
Absolutely. And then we're going to talk about a bunch of additional money opportunities and money ideals and the things around mindset that we're thinking about, not only for our respective, next steps, but as the world begins to open up again. What does our post-global pandemic life become? How are we going to interface out in the world? And what is that going to do for economies that have been suppressed during this period?
Absolutely. All righty. We'll see you guys next time in August, the first week of August, first Tuesday of August. Join us back for Money and Mindset.
All right. Take care, you guys, and we'll see you soon.